right, hello.
Hello.
We are back to review. We came back for the Bleachers, is what we did.
Oh, yeah.
We met Jack Antonoff in the woods, and he turned us into super fans and gave us these T-shirts
For free.
And he had me stripped down and told me to dress like him. So that's why we're in the get-up today. Mm-hmm. All right, we are talking about the new album. Do you want to start us off?
Yeah. So this album was interesting. I think that Jack Antonoff is kind of at a crossroads of his career with Bleachers, where I think he's never had a definitive sound that's his, and he's always been trying to find himself. And the last album, Bleachers, it was at least trying to do something. It was trying to be very atmospheric and stuff, and to be very stream of consciousness lyrics like the 1975 does.
Okay.
It just didn't always hit. And then Take the Sadness Out of Saturday Night was definitely a love letter to Springsteen in New Jersey.
Yep.
And his early albums were very 2010s indie pop.
Yep.
So I think he just tried to combine all of that into one. And with adding some different things to it on this record, like I really love the
Record is called Everyone for 10 Minutes, we should say.
10 minutes of time, that's all we got.
Yeah, it's a 10-minute album.
Oh, it feels like that sometimes. Sideways, I really like the opening song. Has those saxophones that really give it some pizzazz. The Van, I didn't like when I first heard it, but it grew on me a bunch. Then we get to We Should Talk, which has the weirdest vocal, manipulations I've ever heard. You and Forever is... Dirty Wedding Dress is a lot of fun. I like that one. And then, I don't know, it kind of just dips. The production's really weird. I'm Not Joking has, a harpsichord in it for some reason.
Yeah,
sounds like Lurch from the Addams Family. Get him off that track. But I really like the last song, Upstairs at L's. It kind of ties in with Sideways. But yeah, it's just kind of just all over the place. It's very much a mixed bag.
Okay.
What'd you think of the album?
So this album, kind of like John said, he did more of a synth sort of indie pop for the first album. There was more to it, but then eventually he went to Heartland rock on Take the Sadness Out of Saturday Night. It is, I would say, very Rostam-like production, Vampire Weekend type production, over still Heartland rock. Starts out with the song, like you said, that Sideways. I thought it was a nice ethereal opening. I thought the lyrics were definitely, he took a page out of Maddie Healy's book after working with the 1975 on their last album. In terms of the Van, the next song, I liked the low fidelity drums. Thing I appreciate about Jack Antonoff is he is trying to make an album experience each time. Whether or not it works is always debatable, but he's always calling back to lyrics from other albums or calling back to lyrics from the same album. I think he's very much... It's a shame he called his last album Bleachers, because I feel like this should have been the self-titled album, because the whole backstory of him losing his sister at a young age, and then other pivotal moment in his life was definitely meeting Margaret, his now wife. Those two... parts of his life are what drives through this whole album. Those are both referenced multiple times. It's a very emotional album. One thing he does that I like, I saw a clip of Phineas, that producer, saying he does not like doing very specific lyrics. I went to James Corner Store or something. He likes keeping things broad.
I stand by a lot of my favorite songs are kind of vague. They're not saying somebody's name.
They're up for interpretation.
Jack Antonoff on this album is very specific, and that's what I prefer, because I feel like it really puts me in the setting of the song. My favorite song on here is definitely Dirty Wedding Dress. Especially with doing the Bob Dylan impression on it.
Very fun.
Yeah, I very much like that. I love whenever the band is super live on here and things are building up in one of the bridges or choruses. What are you going to say?
No, well, that's one thing that I just like when they do that, when they really pick up. But what annoys me about You and Forever is just the big buildup just comes out of nowhere, and it's just
Okay.
annoying. Like, I like songs, like you said, like How Dare You Want More, how it's kind of going back
Off
and
of Take the
forth, how it
Sadness Out
takes
Saturday
sadness
Night.
out Saturday night. It's kind of goes really high energy, then
Yeah.
low energy. It's really fun. Like, You and Forever just explodes for no reason. It starts screaming. Like, bro, what are you screaming about? I thought this was like a love song or something. Like, calm down. But it just, that just came out of nowhere for me. And what I agree with that with you and with Dirty Wayne Dress, the energy was very, very well built up, even to the
Okay.
part when it takes off. But it's just, it's up and down though. Some songs feel like they should be catchier, and that's another thing. He's lost his chorus game.
That's
after
my
the
biggest issue with the album is towards the second half specifically. I feel like a lot of it's like the songwriting, again, which has been, I don't want to go too in depth because we're going to rank his albums here, so I don't want to spoil too much about my rankings for his albums. But yeah, sometimes he can lose the songwriting because he does a really good job with this thick production that has mixed fidelity sounding things, even if it's not mixed fidelity. A lot of it sounds like it's plate reverbed, or delays are very
Right.
much his favorite things, and leaving in ambience in the recordings. Sometimes I do feel like for example, on the song, which one was it? Dirty Wedding Dress, my favorite song on the album. The instruments, he is okay with instruments not being like on the beat. That song, sometimes it's like, okay, bro, let's get people connected a little more. I mean, like, his influence is Springsteen. Springsteen was completely fine with the instrumentalist being completely
Right.
on beat. He's taking more of a Tom Waits approach, where he's kind of letting
Definitely.
things a little loose. You and Forever, like you said, I actually wrote that I love the build up on that song.
Really?
I think there's just something so poetic about the album theme of losing his sister and finding Margaret. It's to the point where now he's kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Dismissive of everything else, almost lyrically. He has that whole song in Dirty Wedding Dress. Again, I keep talking about that song, where he's kind of, the whole purpose of the song is talking about, like, when you're inviting everyone to your wedding, you really find out who's close to you and everyone else. He's talking about, like, critics and stuff like that. You're kind of pushing to the side. Love You and Forever. He's talking about he doesn't need any religious sort of thing in his life, because Margaret's kind of filled that position. But yeah, what are your thoughts about the second half of the album?
Just the songs just seem, again, like Bleachers, the album, which this is the only thing I'll say about that. They just seem underwritten. Like, you have a song called Dancing, and I wouldn't tap my toe to it if you forced a gun on me.
Do you think about it when you think about it?
Like, it's
Okay.
like the least catchy song. And, like, and maybe it's supposed to be ironic or something, that it's called Dancing and it's not danceable. Like,
I
don't
didn't love
know.
that one.
I like that, like you said, he does take these issues to heart and stuff. I didn't know that about his sister. Maybe I just never knew.
That's what I was
Like,
thinking while listening to the album. Like, how much of this album would I have got if I didn't know his backstory? Like, how much is present in the album? I think the stuff about Margaret is very present in his albums, that you don't need to have outside contextual knowledge. But
Right.
it's funny how this album, on the song We Should Talk, he kind of somehow melded his first two albums sound with this new sound, this
Yeah.
like jangle rock sound. I do not typically like when he goes for auto-tune. I really like his other vocal production, like on the song Can't Believe You're Gone. That song did almost make me cry, I will say, knowing the context of his backstory. But overall, I actually liked the album a lot more than you did. I think this was the most, like, cohesive album experience for
Really?
me out of any of his albums, to be honest. I feel like other albums, he just kind of, which I appreciate, puts the effort into at least doing this, but he'll just reference a few sentences between the songs. This one felt like a more narrative focus, like I could really be put in the scenes that he's talking about. So what would you rate this album?
I think this album, the highs are high, but it's just, I feel like, with my feelings on how the track listing is and the uncohesiveness, I'm gonna have to go a 6 out of 10. I still like a lot of the songs, but I don't know. It's not very cohesive, and I think it wastes more time than it could if you just put more effort into the songwriting.
The
On the second
songwriting.
half, especially. First half is great.
That for me, I think this is definitely, again, I'm trying not to spoil too much of our ranking. I think he has locked in the songwriting here more than on other project, a different project, I will say. I won't say which one. For me, I think this was the most album experience album he's released. I think this is a great step forward.
Really?
For him. I agree that the songwriting and it's always the second half of the album for him that falls off. Sometimes it falls off to the point where it seems like it's a literal demo that he has just polished up because he can produce really quick. Like most people would be like, that's too little for me to do something with. He can quickly throw in 50 things because he's been producing dozens of albums for years. But yeah, I would give this album actually like a low 8 for me, to be honest. High 7, low 8.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a great experience. The songs themselves, my issue is I don't think I would like loop a lot of these songs, but if I wanted an experience, I would go to this album. All right, so let us know in the comments what album we should review next in the future. We are trying to come up with ideas. We're planning on doing the Strokes ranked and review, and then subscribe.
After that last single, who knows?
Another auto-tune enjoyer.
Yes.
And Julian Casablanca. We are doing a ranked of this, so subscribe to the channel, and then subscribe to John's channel.
Yes, I'll be talking about Experimental Rap by JPEG Mafia.
He might be reviewing experimental rap. All right, everyone.